Hi, in this video we're going to show you a free tool you could use to help you find files and also duplicates on your computer. So it's called SearchMyFiles. So all you need to do is download the zip file and extract it and run the executable, so there's nothing to install. So we already have that done here, so we're going to double click it here. Alright, so we have two windows. We have our options, then we have our results window. Alright, so there's several modes. You could do the standard search, duplicate search to find duplicate files. So these will find duplicate files based on the size and metadata and that kind of stuff, not just the name. And then you have non-duplicates if you want to find files that are not duplicates. And then summary mode will just show you a summary of everything on your computer that you're searching for. And then you could do the duplicate names, which will only find duplicates based on their name rather than their size and other information. Then you have your base folder, which is the folder you want to search. Then you have excluded folders. So if you don't want to search certain folders, then you could put information in there, and you could have multiple folders, just separate them by a semicolon. And then the same thing for include only folders. And then you could do wildcards and subfolder wildcards as well, if you want to just look for Word documents or images or that type of thing. Then you have your exclusions. Then you have your file contains or doesn't contain, text binary or a wildcard. Then you could do case sensitive, multiple values, and so on. And you can also search by size if you want, below a certain size, above a certain size, that type of thing. Then the default options here to scan subfolders for unlimited depth, but you could change that. And if you want to search within OneDrive, they say you should check this box here for symbolic links and junction points. So be aware of that. And then you could also have it find folders as well. Then we have our attributes. If you want to just search read-only or hidden files, compressed files, file name lengths, longer or shorter than X amount of characters. Then you have your time for created, modified, and accessed. And then this box here will stop the search after 10,000 files. You can uncheck that if you want to find more than that. And we have some more options here for file owner. All right, so let's say we're going to search our C drive here. Just browse. And we're going to exclude certain folders here. So we don't want to scan Windows program files or program files x86 just for the sake of time. But of course, you're only going to exclude folders if you know you're not wanting to find anything in those folders. All right, we're going to leave all the defaults here, and we're just going to do a standard search. And we're going to search for star.jpg pictures, so image files. And we'll leave everything else default here. So we'll start the search. Then that'll open up in this other window in the back here. And so now we have our file names, location, the size, modified, created, last access time, attributes, extensions, duplicate numbers. We're not searching for duplicates. File owners, size on disk. Then of course you could sort. So of course we found a lot of other nonsense here that was in this public folder. So of course you could search by folder too, like that. Then you have some options up here. Save to a config file. So if you want to save your search, you could use it again later. You could do that. You could open the selected files, open it with, open the folder where that file happens to be, delete it, rename it, check its properties. But of course you have to have something highlighted, and when you do highlight something, you'll have similar options when you right click on it. All right, then you could actually search within your results too. So let's say we do trail, because I see that right there, like so. Copy the file information, the path. So if we do copy information here, I'll paste it into Notepad, for example. Not the best format, but you can maybe paste it into Excel for better results there. You could actually copy and cut from here, select all, deselect all. You could sort, show some grid lines to make it easier to see. You could export everything to a HTML report. So let's say all items here. that, and we even have some links that you could click on to open the file itself. Then if you want to choose the columns, if you don't need to see all of this information, you can uncheck some, move them around, and of course you could also drag and drop the column headers to rearrange the columns. Change the font. Change the unit from bytes to megabytes or gigabytes. Let's say megabytes in this example. We have some search options, color options, double-click options. So what happens if you double-click something from the result? It'll open the properties by default, but you could set it to open the file itself. Enter key action, file encoding, mark duplicate files. You'll see that when we search for some duplicates, find the owner, and so on. So a lot of options here. All right, so let's go back here to the options. All right, this time let's search for duplicates, and we'll delete this, or just put the asterisk back there for everything. So we find all duplicates, and we're still going to exclude those folders here, and leave everything else default here. Okay, click on Start Search. That'll clear the window back here. All right, so now you can see we have duplicates, and you can see it kind of color codes them together to make them easier to find. And you can see we have the same file size for these duplicates as well. And of course, you could come here, right-click them, and delete them or resend them to the recycle bin if you know which ones you want to delete. All right, so that was pretty quick there, and it worked out pretty well. All right, so let's find this file, okay, Beach 2. You can see there's two of them here at 0.94 megabytes. So let's go back and do a search for file names and see what that finds for the Beach 2. You can see when we do the duplicate names, it finds a bunch of these desktop INI files, which we don't care about. All right, so here's our Beach 2, and you can see we have some with different sizes, but the same name. So when you do the duplicate name search, it doesn't matter if they are different sizes, as long as it has the same name, it's going to find them. All right, let's try the summary mode here, just to see what that does. All right, so we'll see how long this takes. All right, so this just shows a summary of everything it found here. It kind of lists it in order if you sort by folder path. Now you can see the total files, the size of the disk, wasted space, and so on for each of these folders. So we probably should have not included program data. So this might be something you want to do on a more narrowed down folder instead of everything here. So let's try that one more time. We'll do it on the Documents folder here. Right, so I just noticed I didn't get rid of the first part here. Just kind of added it to it, so let's try that again. All right, so much quicker. So now you can see our view here. So it shows us each folder, the total file size in each folder, size on disk, and all the other information. So it's just a quick way to get a breakdown of all your folders or subfolders in a particular directory and see their size and that type of thing. All right, then you can come up here as well, see a full report or only folders with 0 files and subfolders or only folders with 0 files. That's another option here. All right, so that is your basic overview of SearchMyFiles. So, it's a pretty simple app, but powerful at the same time. And I like how it's pretty quick and you don't have to install anything. All right, so I'll put a link in the description where you can download SearchMyFiles and you can start searching your files. All right, thanks for watching and be sure to subscribe.